glad you can join me. This is Kirill, and today we are going to be working on a 30-minute backbending sequence. Backbends are extremely important part of a yoga practice. They keep our spine flexible, they improve our range of motion, and they naturally counter the tendency of a human body to flex forward and internally rotate our shoulders because of our sedentary lifestyle. So, having said that, let's get started. As usual, have a pair of blocks nearby. Have a bolster to help you out with this cross-legged sitting positions. So, we are going to start in a nice and comfortable cross-legged position. Take about 2 minutes here to ground ourselves onto our mat. Put the rest of the world on a shelf, turn off the light, close the door, and get deeper into ourselves for the next 30 minutes. Lengthen your spine, roll back your shoulders, lift up your chin, close your eyes. Take a deep inhale and an exhale through the mouth. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Connect with the natural breathing movement of your body. Notice where your breath is present today. Are you breathing more through your chest, or is it a little bit more in your belly? Are your breaths short, or are they long? Is your breathing effortless, or do you feel a bit of an effort required for you to breathe this today? Keep in mind that there's no right or wrong answer to these questions. You're just observing, starting to learn about your body, noticing your body. Keep breathing. Let's start lengthening the exhalations to get a little bit of deeper, get a little bit deeper into our breath. Still keeping your eyes closed. Taking just a few more breaths, and then we're going to get started. On the next exhalation, let's open our eyes and come up on our hands and knees. Knees under the hips, arms directly below the shoulders. Toes are flat on the floor. Fingers are nicely spread out on the mat, grounding through the palms, starting with our pelvis, rotating it and coming up into cow. On your next exhalation, shifting into cat, arcing like a cat, inhaling into cow, arcing into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, back into cow. Exhale, cat. One more time into cow. Exhale into cat. Shifting back into child's pose, bring your sit bones towards your heels. Walk your fingers to the front of the mat. Place your forehead or your chin on the floor. Stretching towards the front of the mat with your fingertips, and at the same time pressing the sit bones into your heels. Relaxing the shoulders. Breathing into our side ribs and the back. On the next exhalation, transition back into tabletop, and from tabletop, extending the knees. Let's come up into downward dog. Find your alignment in this pose. Palms on the same line as your feet. Knees are slightly bent. Heels can be up in the air if you have tight calf muscles or your hamstrings. That's totally fine. As a matter of fact, if you're bending your knees, it will help you find that nice and straight V line between your torso and your hips. Let's spend a few more breaths in downward dog. Pressing through the palms, getting the shoulders away from our hands. And on the next exhalation, let's walk our feet towards the hands. Inhaling into flat back. Place your hands on your shins. Press into your shins. Lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Make sure you have a nice, straight, flat back. Slightly look forward. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. And inhale, reach to the sky or the ceiling if you're doing this indoors. Connect the palms together and bring them to your chest. We're going to do 3 rounds of sun salutations to get the blood flowing. So let's inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale into flat back. Press the palms into your shins. Exhale, folding forward. Stepping back into plank. Here, you want to drop your knees and then drop down all the way down to the floor. Inhale into baby cobra. So just the upper body is coming up, supported with your hands. From baby cobra, we're transitioning to tabletop. And from tabletop, pointing the toes towards the mat, extending the knees, we're shifting into downward dog. Bending the knees, walk the feet towards the hands, inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold forward, reach all the way to the sky, extend, lengthen, press the palms together and bring them to your chest. This is round number 1. We're going to speed this up. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold forward, inhale into flat back. Exhaling back into forward fold, stepping back into plank. This time around, try to lower all the way through chaturanga to the floor. Inhale into baby cobra. Exhale, transitioning through tabletop into downward dog. Bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach to the sky. Press the palms together. Bring them to your chest. 1 more round to go. Inhale. Lengthen, exhale, folding forward. Inhale into flat back. Lengthening that back, exhaling, folding forward, stepping back into plank. Lowering all the way down to the floor. Inhaling into baby cobra. Transitioning through tabletop into downward dog. Bending the knees. Walk your feet towards the hands. Inhale into flat back. 5 breaths here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach to the sky. Connect the palms. Bring them to your chest. The warm-up sequence is done. Let's jump into preparation steps for our back bends. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold forward. Inhaling into flat back, stepping back into plank. From plank, all the way down to the floor, transition into upward dog. The pelvis is hovering off the floor. From upward dog, we're going to go into downward dog. Raise your right leg, step it in between the hands, and we're going to open up into warrior two. So before we get into back bends, we really want to open up our hips. And we're going to do this with this next sequence. From warrior two, we're going to take 5 breaths here. This is where you locate your block. So have a block nearby. Place it on the inside of your foot. Just a few more breaths here. From warrior two, we are going to extend that front knee. Reach forward as far as we can without moving our hips. Drop the hand on the block and open up into a triangle pose. Your front knee can be slightly bent to protect your knee joint. Shoulders are stacking one on top of the other. Holding this for 5 breaths. On the next exhalation, drop in the top arm, bend in the front knee, shifting back into warrior two, lengthening the front knee, pivoting the feet so that now you're facing sideways. Placing the hands on the knees, we're going to fold forward, reaching all the way down with our hands towards the mat. Support your body weight with your hands here. Slowly start working your head down to the floor. 5 breaths in this mild inversion. On the next exhalation, slightly bend your knees and come up to standing. We're shifting to the other side, warrior two, so the bending the front knee, the back foot is at a 90-degree angle. Let's take care of our hands, sinking a little bit deeper into that front knee. 5 breaths. On the next exhalation, let's find that block. Place it on the inside of that foot. Straighten the front knee. Reach forward as far as you can. Drop the hand to your block. Open up into triangle. When you are in triangles, place your focus on your side ribs as you are expanding them to the sky, as you're actively breathing in into the side ribs. Excellent. Drop the arm down to your waist. Bend the front knee. Slowly shifting back up. Pivoting once again sideways. Small micro bend in your knees. Hands on your hips. Reaching down to the floor. You may have a block in front of you if that helps. We're going to open up and twist to the right. Going down with our hand, opening up to the left. We are preparing our lower back for back bends. 2 more breaths here. And shifting back all the way down. Walk your hands towards the front of the mat, shifting, pivoting on the back toe, stepping back into plank. Let's lower through chaturanga or push-up, elbows close to the chest. Inhale into upward dog, exhale into downward dog. Transition back into plank and lowering all the way down to the floor. So we're lying on the floor. Welcome to the first back bending of this session. This one is called locust. We're going to gradually work our way from the simplest to the more complex variation of this pose. We are going to start by extending our hands in front of us. Thumbs are pointing up. We're going to come up with our left arm and right leg. Hold this for 2 breaths. Place everything down to the floor. This time around, right arm, left leg come up. Holding this for 2 breaths. Coming back down, alternating again for 2 breaths. Left arm, right leg. Coming back down, right arm, left leg. Coming back down, one more time on each side. Left arm, right leg. And back down, and one more time, left arm, right arm rather, and left leg. Going back down, excellent. Now place the hands next to your body, palms are facing inwards. Like a construction crane, you are extending the hands to the sides, grounding through the palms. Feet are together. You can place the chin or the forehead on the floor. We're going to hover our feet off the ground. You should feel a nice engagement into the muscles in your lower back. Holding this for 3 more breaths. Releasing all the way down to the floor. Extending the arms in front of us. Grounding through our feet. We are going to come up with our shoulders and arms only. So just hovering the upper body plus the arms. 3 breaths. Exhaling all the way down. Here comes the granddaddy of them all. We're going to come up with our feet and our arms at the same time. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. We want to balance on our abdominal muscles and our pubic bone. Let's get ready. And coming up, arms and legs. 5 breaths. And releasing all the way down to the floor. Next one, place your hands next to your shoulders. Fingers are spread out. Semi-engage your glutes. Feet are nice and straight. We're going to come up into baby cobra. So upper body comes up. The pelvis is on the floor. You are supporting your upper body with your hands. Elbows close to the body. Feeling a slight bend in our lower back. Holding this for 5 breaths. On the next exhalation, letting go, place your left ear to the ground. Inhale through the nose. Release through the mouth. We're going to do this 2 more times. Getting ready, set, coming up, 5 breaths. Elbows close to the chest. Retract your shoulder blades, so bring the shoulder blades together. Feel the opening of the chest. Legs are nice and straight. Glutes are semi-engaged. 2 more breaths. Exhaling, bringing the right ear to the ground. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Getting ready for set number 3. Coming up for 5 breaths. This time around, try to scrub your hands towards your body. Feel how that naturally opens up your chest. 3 more breaths in Baby Cobra, and we are done with it. Exhaling all the way down to the floor. Place the left ear to the ground. Inhale through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Slide your elbows under your shoulders. Palms are facing forward. We're going to come up into something that's called a sphinx. Like an Egyptian sphinx in the middle of the desert. You are nice and stable, grounding through your elbows, opening up our shoulders. Our feet are nice and straight and engaged. Avoid the temptation to hang down from your shoulders. You want to engage those shoulders, make sure they're nicely engaged, holding up the weight of your upper body, looking directly forward. I'm going to hold this for 5 more breaths. On the next exhalation, release all the way down to the floor. Place the hands next to your rib cage. Palms are slightly facing outwards, so roughly 11 and 1 o'clock. Elbows close to the body, engaging the feet. We're going to lift up into Cobra. So most of the body weight is in our hands. We're actively opening our shoulders, lifting through our back. Holding this for 5 breaths. Pressing down through the pubic bone, engaging the legs, breathing and smiling. On the next exhalation, releasing all the way down, we're going to roll over onto our backs. Bending the knees, you should be able to slightly tickle your heels with your fingertips. Grounding through the palms of your hands into the mat, lifting up our hips, coming up. For 1, exhale all the way down. Lift through your hips for 2. Exhale, bring them down. Lifting up for 3. Exhale, bring them down. Lifting up for 4. Exhale, bring them down. And 1 last time. Lifting up and holding for 5 breaths. Squeezing the glutes. Trying to get our hips as high as possible. On the next exhalation, release all the way down to the floor. Let's hug our knees into our chest. Oh, that feels really nice. Counterbalancing pose, stretching out the back muscles. If you have a soft mat, feel free to roll around back and forth, left and right. Start rocking back and forth and rock yourself up all the way into a sitting position. As you are sitting, reach high with your hands and forward fold, bringing your elbows next to your knees. Have a slight bend in your knees. If your hamstrings are extremely tight, use a block here, put it under your knees. You can adjust the height to really help you out with the tension, and simply let the gravity do the work here. Folding forward. Make sure your toes are flexing inwards to engage your calves. We're going to take about a minute here before we relax all the way into Shavasana. The backbends, postures, or asanas have an extremely energizing effect on our body. That's why it's really nice to do these types of activities in the morning to really get you pumped up for the day. Let's take a 3 more breaths in this forward fold, stretching out the spines and the muscles in our lower back. Make those breaths count. And on the next exhalation, slowly coming back to the center. Get rid of your block if you had one. And let's stretch out into good old Shavasana, or the corpse pose. Let your feet naturally splay to the sides. Fingers are curling upwards. Relax your face, relax your jaw. If you feel a bit of a tension in your lower back, you can take a block and you can place it right under your knees. Relaxing through our entire body. Feeling good about the workout that we have done. We don't necessarily have to practice for hours and hours. Even 5 minutes of a yoga practice a day adds up to great results over time. So it's the frequency as opposed to the length of the practice that really matters. Just a few more breaths. On the next exhalation, Let's start slowly rolling to the side of our body, using one hand as a cushion for our head. And when you're ready, let's shift slowly back into our cross-legged sitting position. Close your eyes, bring your hands to your chest, bow your chin. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope you found this sequence invigorating and enjoyable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.